Have you ever said something in anger and regretted it almost immediately? Maybe someone insulted you, questioned your abilities, or said something that hit a nerve. And before you even had time to think, the words were already out of your mouth. Most people believe emotional intelligence is about staying calm. But that is not entirely true. Because emotionally intelligent people feel anger too. They feel frustration, disappointment, embarrassment, and sometimes even rage. The difference is not what they feel. The difference is what they do next. When most people experience a strong emotion, they react. Almost automatically. The emotion appears, and the behavior follows. But emotionally intelligent people do something most people never learn to do. They pause. Even if it's only for a few seconds. They create a small gap between the feeling and the response. And that tiny gap changes everything. Because emotions are powerful. But they are temporary. A harsh comment can last a few seconds. Yet a careless reaction can damage a relationship for years. That is why emotionally intelligent people understand something most people overlook. The first emotion is automatic. The response is a choice. And the first thing emotionally intelligent people never do is react immediately to provocation. The second thing emotionally intelligent people never do is feel the need to win every argument. At first, this sounds strange. Wouldn't an intelligent person want to prove they are right? Not necessarily. Because emotionally intelligent people understand something most people learn too late. Winning an argument and changing someone's mind are rarely the same thing. Think about the last heated disagreement you witnessed. Maybe it happened at work, online, or even within a family. Both people kept talking. Both people kept defending themselves. And the conversation became less about truth and more about victory. The problem is that once ego takes over, listening stops. People are no longer trying to understand each other. They are trying to protect their pride. Emotionally intelligent people recognize this quickly. They know that some conversations lead to growth, but others lead nowhere. So instead of wasting energy trying to force someone to agree with them, they step back. Not because they have no answer. Not because they are afraid. But because they understand that peace is often more valuable than being right. They choose their battles carefully. Because they know that every argument costs mental energy. And some victories are simply too expensive to be worth winning. That is why emotionally intelligent people never feel the need to win every argument. The third thing emotionally intelligent people never do is seek constant validation from other people. Most people do this without even realizing it. They look for approval in conversations, in relationships, at work, and especially online. A compliment makes them feel confident. A criticism makes them question themselves. A few likes make them feel valued. A lack of attention makes them feel invisible. The problem is that when your self-worth depends on other people's opinions, your emotions become impossible to control. Because the world is constantly changing. Some people will support you. Others will misunderstand you. And some will criticize you no matter what you do. Emotionally intelligent people understand this reality. That is why they build their sense of worth from the inside rather than the outside. They listen to feedback. But they do not let feedback define them. They appreciate praise. But they do not become dependent on it. And when someone disagrees with them, they do not immediately assume they are wrong. Their confidence comes from knowing who they are. Not from convincing everyone else. Because the moment you stop needing constant approval, you gain something far more valuable. Freedom. Freedom from having to please everyone. Freedom from the fear of being judged. Freedom to live true to yourself. And that is why emotionally intelligent people never seek constant validation from others. The fourth thing emotionally intelligent people never do is assume their emotions are always telling them the truth. This is a mistake that traps countless people. They feel rejected, so they assume nobody likes them. They feel anxious, so they assume something bad is about to happen. They feel insecure, so they assume they are not good enough. But emotions are not facts. They are signals. And while signals can be useful, they are not always accurate. Emotionally intelligent people understand this distinction. When they experience a strong emotion, they do not immediately treat it as reality. Instead, they become curious. They ask themselves, is this actually true? Do I have evidence for this? Could there be another explanation? This simple habit prevents them from creating unnecessary suffering. Because many of life's biggest misunderstandings begin with an emotional assumption. A text message gets ignored. A friend seems distant. A coworker acts differently. And the mind instantly creates a story. Often a negative one. Emotionally intelligent people resist that impulse. They know that feelings deserve attention. But they also know that feelings should be questioned. Because the ability to separate emotion from reality is one of the most powerful psychological skills a person can develop. And emotionally intelligent people practice it every day. The fifth and final thing emotionally intelligent people never do is stay trapped inside their comfort zone for too long. This may sound surprising. Because emotionally intelligent people are often calm, patient, and self-aware. But they are not passive. They understand that growth and comfort rarely exist in the same place. Most people naturally move toward what feels safe. The familiar routine. The familiar environment. The familiar version of themselves. And while there is nothing wrong with comfort, staying there too long comes with a hidden cost. Life becomes predictable. Opportunities get ignored. Potential remains unexplored. Emotionally intelligent people recognize when comfort starts turning into avoidance. They notice when fear is making decisions for them. And instead of waiting to feel completely ready, they take small steps forward anyway. They start the conversation. Apply for the opportunity. Learn the new skill. Speak up when it matters. Not because they are fearless, but because they know confidence is built through action, not waiting. Every meaningful change begins with discomfort. Every new level of growth requires uncertainty. And emotionally intelligent people accept this reality. They do not run from discomfort. They learn from it. Because they understand that the comfort zone may feel safe, but nothing truly grows there. And that is why emotionally intelligent people never stay comfortable for too long. If there is one thing to remember after this video, it is this: emotional intelligence is not about being calm all the time. It is not about suppressing your emotions. And it is not about becoming a perfect person who never makes mistakes. In fact, emotionally intelligent people experience the same emotions as everyone else. They feel anger, fear, disappointment, self-doubt, and frustration. The difference is not what they feel. The difference is how they respond. They pause before reacting. They do not need to win every argument. They do not depend on constant approval. They question the stories their emotions create. And they refuse to let comfort become a prison. None of these habits require a high IQ. None of them require special talent. They are skills. And like any skill, they can be practiced. Little by little, day by day. The truth is that emotional intelligence is not something you are born with. It is something you build through awareness, through reflection, and through the choices you make when life becomes difficult. So the next time you find yourself reacting automatically, pause for a moment. Because that small pause may be the beginning of a completely different life. And that is where real emotional intelligence begins.